These 5 zodiac signs can predict the future. Some people just feel more. They don't guess, they know what's coming. They walk away from relationships before they're betrayed. They walk away from a deal that others think is good, and a week later, it all falls apart. This isn't intuition, this is the gift of foresight. And 5 zodiac signs have it. Their mind is an antenna that catches signals from the future. Their body is a barometer of change. They don't tell fortunes, they just see ahead. If you've ever said, "I knew it," even when everyone doubted it, this video is for you. Watch until the end. Your sign might be on this list, and then a lot about you will become clear. Write in the comments if you've ever had a time when you predicted an event before it happened. I read all the stories. I'll include the most accurate ones in the next episode. Subscribe to the channel if you feel that your feelings are not a coincidence, but a system. Here we analyze signs, read people and learn to understand what others cannot. Ready? Then let's begin. The first sign is Libra. A Libra has a rare gift to foresee the outcome of events, even when everything around says otherwise. This is not intuition in the usual sense. It is a fragile, almost invisible balance between logic and sensitivity, which turns into an internal prediction mechanism. Libras feel how everything will end long before someone takes the first step. They notice fluctuations in the voice, shadows in the eyes, pauses in dialogues, and put it together into an extremely accurate model of behavior. What seems like an accident to others is a pattern for Libra. They do not guess, do not fantasize. They calculate like an experienced chess player who sees the outcome 10 moves ahead. This skill is not always convenient. Libras too often know that a conversation will end in conflict, that a project will fail, despite inspiring speeches, that a person who inspires trust in everyone is actually playing a double game. They know, but do not always say, because they understand, the truth is scary, and not everyone wants to hear something that already carries the weight of the finale. Their gift is like a quiet metronome, working in the background. It does not make noise, does not demand attention, but allows them to be one step ahead. Sometimes Libra themselves are surprised at how accurately they sense the passage of time. They can wake up with a clear knowledge. Today you need to make this particular call, refuse a meeting, leave, disagree, say no. And then they see how events unfold exactly as they felt. And the more often they trust this inner voice, the stronger it becomes. It takes shape, clear, stable. Libra stops doubting. They begin to listen to themselves and win. Their specialty is to sense changes inside people. They can predict not global catastrophes, but small, personal upheavals that change everything. They see when a friend is going to betray, when an alliance will fall apart, when a person no longer believes in what he says. This is not paranoia. This is a fine-tuning to the truth that has not yet been spoken, but is already in the air. Libra can be silent, but already know what will happen in a day, in a week, in a month. It is almost impossible for them to hide something. They can listen calmly, but inside they already see the alignment. Their face will remain polite, but inside they are already analyzing, which gives an accurate result. This gift is not in being a prophet, but in not losing balance in the face of the inevitable. Libra does not panic, do not dramatize. They know, everything is going where it should, and in this awareness is their unique strength. The second sign is Aries. Aries' foresight does not work as a quiet voice of intuition, but as a flash. Suddenly, abruptly, without warning, he knows what will happen, who will come, where it will explode, where an opportunity will open up. Aries anticipates events with such intensity that it seems he himself is pushing reality forward. His strength is not in analysis, but in impulse. He takes a step, and at that very moment the path opens. He takes a risk, and at that moment a scenario unfolds that others have not even guessed about. He acts because he feels it in advance, without proof, without logic. He simply knows, now is the moment. This gift manifests itself especially clearly in critical situations. When everyone is afraid, Aries goes. When everyone is waiting, he begins. And he is almost always right. His inner compass does not reason. It burns. And this fire illuminates the near future so that Aries sees how to behave, where to win, who to bypass. Many take this for luck, for good fortune, but in fact, this is foresight in its most active form. It is not for theorists. It is for fighters. Aries foresee not because he feels the details, but because he senses the very essence of the situation. His brain grasps the whole picture, without decoding. He does not need an explanation. He simply knows, you can't go there. There will be an explosion here. Here, growth. There, failure. He can get up at night, call, warm. He can forbid someone to go. He can refuse a lucrative contract because something is wrong. And after a while it turns out that everything went exactly as he felt. This feeling cannot be explained. It is on the body level. Skin, breath, goosebumps, heartbeat. Everything tells him, now either yes or no. An Aries who has learned to listen to this inner flame becomes not just a leader, he becomes a magnet for the future. Everything that will happen is already in him. He is like an antenna receiving signals from tomorrow. He may not know why, but he knows how. And this is enough to win. The strongest thing is that he never asks for permission. He just acts. His gift is that he trusts himself even when everyone is silent. He does not doubt. He either jumps or does not go at all. And in this jump there is always the wind of the future. Sometimes he is wrong, but more often, not. Because Aries' foresight is the energy of action. And when he moves, everything around him adjusts to his pace. The third sign is Virgo. Virgo's gift of foresight works like a perfectly tuned mechanism. It is not a flash, not an epiphany, not mysticism. It is logic combined with sensitivity to detail. The representative of this sign sees not only what is happening, he notices what is not. He recognizes omissions, inconsistencies, deviations from the norm. And in these little things, Virgo finds traces of the future. Her gift is in the ability to recognize a trend even before it becomes obvious. She does not need to wait for a catastrophe, she already sees the first cracks. This sign feels the future in numbers, in documents, in people's behavior, in changes in the rhythm of life. He notices when a person changes their communication style, when a partner begins to avoid responsibility, when a breakdown is brewing in business. For others, this is just fatigue. For Virgo, it is the beginning of the end. She does not panic, she begins to prepare. Her foresight is always associated with action, analysis, adjustment, strategy. She warns and builds an alternative. She doesn't dramatize or blame, she just sees further. The gift is especially powerful in situations where everything depends on precision. In negotiations, financial matters, strategic planning. She can say that you shouldn't sign a document, and a month later it will turn out that this is true. She can reject a promising partner, and she will be right. It's as if she has a built-in scanner that detects distortions of reality. Her gift of foresight is the ability to calculate the chain of causes and see the end when no one has yet begun. She is often considered cold or too rational, but there is deep sensitivity behind this. Virgo predicts behavior. She feels who will leave, who will betray, who will not endure. She sees not the future, but trajectories. And this is her strength. She corrects the course in advance. It is difficult to catch her by surprise. Even if she is silent, her mind is already working. And those who are close to her intuitively begin to trust her opinion. Because too often her no saves from trouble. This gift works constantly in Virgo. She may not be aware of it, but it is what makes her so successful, so steady, so precise. And the more she relies on her observations, the more her ability to be one step ahead becomes apparent. It is not a prophecy, it is knowledge based on paying attention to the world. She does not predict miracles, she predicts patterns, and that is her magic. The fourth sign is Gemini. A representative of the Gemini zodiac sign can predict the future with such ease that people around him sometimes do not attach any importance to it. But if someone started writing down his jokes, guesses, and assumptions, over time he would understand this is not an accident. Gemini senses the course of events differently, faster, deeper, wider. Their brain is an antenna that receives signals that are inaccessible to others. They can immediately tell how an argument will end, which idea will work, where the lie is hidden, and who will actually be the winner. And all this is in the form of light chatter. But behind this chatter is a super intuitive accuracy. Because their gift is in a mental connection with the future, they seem to hear its echoes, translated into thoughts, ideas, premonitions. They do not need to go into a trance, it is enough to talk. Gemini often speak as if in advance. They can predict the course of events simply based on feelings. They do not need logical analysis. Their gift is above logic. It works through instant flashes of insight. Sometimes they themselves do not understand how they know it, but they know. They can say that an offer should be accepted, and a project should be postponed. And it turns out, they were right. Their strength is in the ability to see cause and effect relationships before they manifest themselves. They feel, a word spoken today will grow into an event in a week. And therefore they can warn, direct, predict. But they do not do this in the style of a dramatic prophet, but with a smile, easily, as if by chance. And only then do people understand, this was advice from the future. A representative of the Gemini sign can sense events through information, news, a word, a phrase, and a mechanism clicks inside. They catch the essence, as if between the lines. They see trends, outcomes, destinies, and they can convey to others, if they want. Because they don't always share, because they understand, not everyone is ready to hear the truth before it happens. They dream about the future. It comes in conversations. It arises in thoughts. And if Geminis say, I feel that everything will change soon, it is better to listen. Because they do not guess. They warn. Their words are ahead of time. And only after days, weeks or months, the truth catches up with those who did not believe then. The fifth sign is Leo. A representative of the zodiac sign Leo can see the future not as a random mystic, but as a master of future events. His premonitions are not vague feelings, but internal orders, as if from above. When Leo feels that something will happen, he does not doubt, he knows. Because his intuition is based on deep inner knowledge that everything in life is not chaos, but order, and he feels where everything is directed. Leo has a special perception of time. He can look ahead through actions, through the atmosphere, through the energy of the moment. When he enters a room, he feels who will be the leader here, who will lose, who will disappear. And he is not mistaken. His strength is in the ability to read the path forward through will, confidence and spiritual resonance. He sees not only himself in the future, but also others, and can say who will come to glory, who will fall, who will gain, and who will lose. Leo foresees global events. He feels the movement of the world. He can predict when everything will turn around, who will become the new authority, what idea will capture people's consciousness. His thinking is structured in such a way that he instantly builds cause and effect chains, and this is his prophetic talent. He does not need proof. He feels the truth through a deep yes inside himself. When he says, "Don't go there," it means there is danger there. When he advises, "Now is the moment," it means you need to act. Leo does not like to guess. He acts on the basis of inner confidence, and therefore his advice is always accurate. Many who once listened to his instinct come back after a while and thank him. His dreams are also not random. In them, he receives signs, specific, clear, visual. Images of future events come to mind suddenly, during inspiration, in silence, in a dream, at a moment of strong emotions. And if he says that he felt something, it is no longer just a feeling. This is the future reality, but it is still in its infancy. A Leo can predict the fate of others, but rarely shares it. He knows the value of words, and he does not throw them to the wind. If he decides to warn, it means it is important. It means that events are already approaching. And if he says, "You will become great," you can be sure this moment is already embedded in the timeline. He does not require faith. He simply speaks, and time confirms Leo is not mistaken, because more is revealed to him than to others.